Welcome to Everything Money. We welcome you in. Thanks for watching. As always, we welcome our patrons all over the world. Paul, the patron's going wonderfully well.
2,900.
2,900. Incredible. And our subscribers all over the world, we welcome you in as always. People are falling in love with our reaction videos. We've done some that have gotten heated. We've done some that have... We have done some of them that have gotten our undercarriages heated. And today might be the same. Paul, you know, I'm going to show you a guy. I think a lot of the people I've shown you, you've never even had a glimpse, put your eyes on before.
Correct.
This person, I'm certain you've seen before.
Like a video?
I mean,
I don't watch videos.
You know of him.
Okay.
And I
Is it Grant Cardone?
I think you're gonna.
Oh boy.
No.
Oh, okay.
I think you're gonna like what you see in this video. So I present to you, Paul. For your viewing pleasure, those out there. Here we go.
I keep asking who it is.
What's up, guys? Here. So I think it's about time we have an honest, open talk about something that's been on my mind for a while now. Imagine taking your hard-earned money, ripping it in two, and now you're left with half of what you started with. Or even worse, you took too long to cash out. I'm going to take a little bit more, and there you go. That's yours. Better luck next time. Well, if that seems dramatic to you, it might not be, because this is pretty much what happened to the entire cryptocurrency market over the last 30 days. Now, if this were any other asset class, I would tell you my typical don't time the market, don't panic, and any fluctuations in price are normal. But with cryptocurrency, there's a very real potential of potentially losing everything depending on what you're invested in. And I'm seeing a lot of bad advice online from people who have no idea what they're talking about that could potentially cost you a lot of money if you aren't careful.
Okay.
I'm actually pretty shocked by
I am too. Now, what's his history on cryptocurrency? Does he have a history of his viewpoint of it?
You know, I think he's gone in waves about what he's for and against. He'll go into that. The title of this video is Why You'll Regret Buying Crypto in 2021.
Wow.
So it's funny. I will say this. We have a mutual friend who texted us the other day about crypto. You have to have crypto. Where were you a year and a half ago when crypto was at 3,000 or 4,000 telling me I had to have crypto? Because I didn't hear from you until all of a sudden it said, and by the way, the first time he told us was when it was about 55,000. And he's a day trader, but he's talking about the fundamental parts of crypto. So it's kind of confusing for me.
Let's keep going.
So I'm going to take the stance that you should probably not be investing in cryptocurrency right now unless you have the discipline to follow 5 strategies that will give you the best chance at coming out ahead profitable. Because I got to say, it's a lot more prevalent for people to lose their hard-earned money than it is to turn a small investment into a mini fortune while knowing the right time to cash out to a comfortable return.
Very true.
Yeah, I liked that point. You know,
Yeah.
I think I keep saying to myself,
It's a good way to word it too.
You hear all these wonderful millionaire stories, but then all of my friends around me who are into this, they're not becoming millionaires from this at all.
Yeah.
So, let's keep going.
But yeah.
And that
Go ahead, Paul. What were you going to say?
I mean, I'm happy to hear this. So far, I'm very interested in this video. I'm very excited about this because that's a very well put point that everybody hears these stories, but it's much more likely that this goes bad for people than all of a sudden we're all very rich. Because everybody has to remember that it's not possible for everybody to be right and everybody to get rich. That is just not a reality. You know what I mean? And if you believe that's possible, if you believe you and all your neighbors are going to become millionaires because of Bitcoin, that's the reason an investor who understands history will realize that's the problem. You know, it's funny. I'm reading a book right now about investing process and to look at. And it describes how you know you're in a bubble. And it literally describes, well, the market in general, but especially cryptocurrency. Like everybody is making money. It's super easy to get into all these things. And I'm like, oh boy. But anyways, go ahead.
what we need to talk about today. But before we go into that, we got to talk about why you should not smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. In fact, you want to know what all of these people have in common? Yeah, I have no idea either, but chances are they would make that like button turn blue. And best of all, so thank you for all of your support and like button smashing. Here's a picture of a baby clownfish. So thank you guys so much.
So we used to do this too, Mo.
Yeah, you did that.
We used to put up a photo of Paul and I as a child to make fun of ourselves so that people would hit the like. So funny stuff.
Do you think
By the way,
copying us?
This is fake money, so you have nothing to worry about. All right, so first things first,
illegal, I think, technically.
Not be investing in cryptocurrency is a way to get rich quick. I think too many people are enamored by looking back on the past and rationalizing that had they just invested $1,000 in Bitcoin on April 15th, 2011, they would now have $38 million. Or they think that if they could just catch the next Dogecoin before it rallies 13,000% in a year, they'd have it made. But actually doing that and exiting successfully is next to impossible. possible. And more often than not, the majority of people end up losing a significant amount of money.
Incredibly surprised
Is
right
that a
now
Zenith?
what I'm seeing.
By the way, is he wearing a Zenith?
Yeah, that has to be with
That
the three
watch?
circles.
Yeah, is that a Zenith? I think it is.
Like it.
It looks, I mean, it looks a lot like a Zenith. But
It's good
anyhow,
taste.
yeah, so far I'm like, oh, this is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm amazed behind him. That's a 94 Honda Accord. So
You know what
To emulate
car.
the
Is it?
You know what I liked what he said? I don't know if it's true if he does it, but he said the 5 strategies. So maybe he does have some kind of process.
No, like this is part of the whole. Listen,
well,
of
I
course
winced
it
at
is.
that.
It's
I
in the
winced
video,
at that
but-
too. But keep
Let's
listening.
see.
of other
Let's see.
people. The other downside of this is that it encourages extremely risky speculative behavior to the point where earning a 20% return on your money is no longer worthwhile when the guy getting bottle service at the club is posting about his 100x return, which by the way is definitely not financial advice. Not to mention, in order to do something like this successfully and actually make a life-changing amount of money from a small investment, it takes insurmountable emotional intelligence, self-control, discipline to ride through the volatility. Sell when you've hit your goal and not get consumed by greed when everyone thinks it's going to continue going higher. Very few people have the skills to do this effectively. And for a lot of people out there, I would
argue that the person who has the skills to do that isn't doing
investing in
Bitcoin, isn't
Bitcoin.
investing in
Right.
cryptocurrency. They're investing in other strategies like value investing, things like that.
Which is what we're trying to teach on this show.
That is
sort of-
correct.
Sort of increasing these skills.
this up to luck rather than sophistication, which means replicating these same strategies over and over again while 10xing or 20xing your money is just realistically not feasible. So even though, yes, you can make a lot of money investing in cryptocurrency, if you view it as a way to get rich quick, that's inevitably going to lead to the
Pause.
same.
And the funny part is people watching this are going to look at him and go, I'm not looking at it to get rich quick. Yes, you are. Like, that's the thing.
what
When I
crypto's all
hear,
about.
this person who texted the other day goes, oh, have you ever wanted to talk to somebody who understands? And I'm like, I didn't want to get in this conversation. You don't understand. Because if you understood a year and a half ago when it was at 3,000 or
would've-
4,000,
you
you'd been
would've
like, guys, you need to buy this because of this. And even if you did say that, it's not, I still don't understand the fundamental thing that makes Bitcoin better than Ethereum, better than
The other
Doge, better
4,000.
than blah, blah, blah,
Sure.
blah, 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 blah.
It keeps going.
mentality that causes you to buy when it's already going up, sell at the slightest glimpse of any vulnerability, and consequently lose money without having the discipline of a pre-planned entry and exit point. So instead of thinking of this as a way to get rich quick, invest an amount that you're willing to hold on to long term. And once it hits a level where it makes sense to sell, whether that's within a few days, years, or decades, sell. The second, speaking of that, you should not invest in cryptocurrency if you're not prepared to lose money. I think at this point, it's pretty safe to assume we're going to continue to see rather large corrections and sell-offs. And if you're not prepared to invest your money and see 90% of it disappear completely into the abyss, potentially forever, then you should not be investing in cryptocurrency. The biggest problem that I see with it is that it's way too easy to buy high all at once and then sell low when everyone moves on to something else with the mindset that you may as well just sell now while you still can. That just winds up creating this cycle where you buy, you get
Is this
discouraged.
real?
This happened yesterday.
No, is it real? Like, because I hear this and I'm going, yeah, I really like this a lot. But then I think about the other videos, thumbnails I've seen of his, and I know it's, and I get it. He's trying, he has to make, this is his career. But I mean, this is very sound and not exciting, which is why I'm surprised he's saying
Me
it.
too.
Do you know what I mean?
Me too.
You lose, you save up more money, you buy again for all the wrong reasons, you sell it when it goes down, and you're perpetually caught in this trap of losing, even if the coins themselves are actually good. So instead, I would only
Well, I
invest.
disagree with that. I mean, he said if the coins themselves are good.
I assume he's made other Bitcoin videos. Have you watched them?
I mean, I can't even tell. He makes a lot, every single day.
Yeah.
So
And
yes, of course.
crypto
He's definitely
videos.
talked about crypto.
what you're
Okay.
willing to lose, and I would only invest what you're comfortable watching drop in value. Otherwise, as soon as you get worried or emotional watching your account go up in flames, you're more likely to make impulsive, emotionally driven
That is
reactions that
correct.
might end up hurting more than they help. For myself, I prefer to buy in consistently in small amounts and then add on to my position over time. So that way, I never just buy in all at once because I know my chances of timing the market correctly are pretty much non-existent. Instead, I could use any drop in price as a reason to go and buy a little bit more. And really, no matter what happens, I'll be able to average my buy-in over time. I'm never investing more money than I'm prepared to lose. I don't intend to use this money for decades. And I've made a plan ahead of time that I'm going to stick with no matter what the price trades at. By doing this, you're going to be much more likely to invest level-headed without reaction, so that way you'll be able to ride the volatility to your advantage. Third, you should also not invest in cryptocurrency if you're not prepared to diversify.
So here's where he gets into buying multiple coins at multiple prices.
Now, on CoinMarketCap, there's over 10,000 different projects and cryptocurrencies that people have a chance to invest in. But how many of them do you really think will be successful and will actually be around 10 to 20 years from now? Like, do you really think Lady Luck is going to be the next big... Or what about Baby Token or Anti-Scam Token? Most likely the entire cryptocurrency market is going to look vastly different 10 years from now. And predicting which ones are going to be successful is going to be pretty much impossible without diversifying. To put this into perspective, just look at the dot-com bubble 20 years ago. In 1999, there were 457 IPOs, with 117 of them doubling in price the first day of trading. Back then, the biggest dot-com company was Netscape, which dominated the internet as a search engine before Google. Near the bottom on the list was Amazon and Yahoo, of which only one of the previous top 10 actually became incredibly successful. But Amazon also went through a time where it dropped
Sounds familiar, huh, Paul?
90% in value and took nearly a decade to recover to where it once was before the sell-off. I guarantee back in 2002 when it fell in price, very few people could have predicted the Goliath that would be here today. The point I'm trying to make is that I have a feeling that something similar is also going to happen with crypto.
Sounds a lot like our videos.
Yeah. This is,
So I will say about so the difference between cryptocurrency and companies going, a company can go bankrupt because of no revenue, too much debt. Crypto, I'm not. My big thing is, do I think there'll be cryptocurrency around the future? Yes. Do I think it'll have to be paired with a government of some sort? I do believe that. And do I think 10,000 cryptos or whatever the number is are going to be around? No, I do not.
Also, I would say is you have an incredibly, as you've been critiqued here on the show, is you have an incredibly disciplined manner. And I've said to you, Paul, why would someone with so much money not just throw a little bit of it around since you have so much extra? And then you throw it back into my face in that why would someone with so little money put it in something?
Put a ton
so
in or a little.
Again, folks, I had a conversation with an acquaintance of mine recently, and they're 30 years old. They have zero money saved in this world whatsoever, but he put his first 2,000 into investing because he bought in Ethereum. And so, like, it's getting scary out there. If this is you and you're watching, this may pertain to you.
The history of bubbles is exactly what's playing out. Everyone's making money. Everyone's putting money in. The money is easy to make, blah, 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 blah. Right? It's just, these are just cycles. This is exactly what has to happen. And it's like, okay. But I've been saying this for a while now. The thing that I got wrong was the retail investor wasn't making easy money. Now the retail investor is making easy money.
Very easy money.
And big corporations are now buying into this stuff too.
Of course. I mean, I just saw an article that said Carl Icahn plans on having a big cryptocurrency position. And I'm like, okay. I mean, again, do I think cryptocurrency will be around? Yes. But it's just like the internet. Did I think in 1999 the internet would be around for the rest of the time? Yes. Does that mean every internet company in the world is going to make it? No. As we saw.
Let's keep going.
Currency. And these top 10 coins are going to look dramatically different 10 years from now as the market changes. That's why I recommend diversifying your investment across multiple cryptocurrencies instead of
just diversify your bonds.
Pardon?
That's from Wu-Tang Financial on Chappelle's show. He goes, you got to diversify your bonds.
100x and make you as rich as possible. By doing this, you're going to have a much greater likelihood of actually investing in something that's going to be around in the long term. And if a few of them don't work out, well, that's fine because you're going to have something.
I think there'll be a few of them will work out.
Yeah, I mean, especially
with the vast majority will not.
Especially with the U.S. government getting involved, China government getting involved, India, all these major governments are getting involved. So many of them are going to go away.
Ray Dalio, who I'm not a huge fan of anymore, but he did make a good point about. He goes, listen, when the U.S. government wants to borrow money, they sell bonds. If people perceive crypto to be safer than bonds and better than bonds, it limits the U.S. government's ability to do their business. So what are they going to do? They're going to ban crypto. Because if people are buying crypto instead of bonds as a way to store their wealth, there's no way the government's going to be able to do what they need to do.
Let's keep going.
To fall back on. I would also see your entire cryptocurrency investment as a small part of your entire portfolio, bolstered by other asset classes that have a long-standing track record. For example, combine your cryptocurrency with the stock market, or an index fund, or a rental property that'll give you consistent income regardless of what happens. With investments like this, it's going to be pretty much impossible to lose money as long as you take the proper steps to diversify.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Unless he means the entire stock portfolio thing and
I see.
ETF.
Okay,
If he's talking about that, then over a long period of time, I think he's correct.
Yeah, theoretically, yeah.
To help get you started on your path of diversification, you could literally use the link down below in the description and get your totally free stock worth all the way up to $50 when you sign up for Public. You may as well go for it. It's pretty much like free money, and it takes you just a few minutes.
I've never heard of Public before, so now we got the Webull, Robinhood, Public. It's just
sign up.
Wasn't he doing Webull before?
I'm sure. I don't know what
So
happened.
enjoy. Now, fourth, you should absolutely not invest in cryptocurrency.
Research. Just skip this part. I don't want to get angry.
They want to hear you.
If you're not prepared to do your own research. At this point, everyone jokes about the shills that post their mind-blowing profits with the disclaimer, not financial advice, plastered across the whole thing as though that's going to keep them out of jail if the SEC ever decides to regulate them as securities. But truth be told, too many people are buying into whatever they see getting the slightest glimpse of hype, hoping to ride it as close to the moon as possible without doing any actual research into what they're really buying into. And listen, we're all guilty of this to some degree. I've been dumb and bought crap that I didn't fully research. And I have to say, every single time that I have listened to somebody on a highly speculative, volatile investment, I have lost money. But where people go especially wrong is when they listen to someone like that invest all of their money into one single project, and then get caught in the dump when everything plunges into
good advice. Like, this is just regular good advice that I like.
It's nice to see that it's such a big channel saying it.
Of course. And he's, but he talks about do your own research. And I like what he said, do your own research on what you're buying. I thought he was going to say
on an individual coins.
Yeah, find which cryptocurrency you find. It's like, well,
That's where I thought this was going.
I mean, that really irritated me, the text we got yesterday. I was just like, this guy's an idiot. This guy's so stupid, he doesn't understand it.
Yeah, that was bad.
He goes, oh, I know. He's like, if you need somebody to help you navigate this, he's like, I understand. I'm like, you're an idiot. You're stupid.
really expensive lesson to learn. But it's something easily avoidable by instead waiting 5 days before you make the investment and using that time to research as much as you can. In the big picture, if it's actually something worth investing into, waiting 5 days is not going to make...
By the way, he has to also clarify what is research. Because just looking at... That's my argument about crypto. Okay, what are you researching that makes one better than the other? All it's going to end up being is which one's more hyped and which one's not. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, I got into a discussion with a friend of ours, very close to Mo, about what mining is. And, and I said, well, what is it? It's, it's mining. You're mining the coins. Well, what is that? Who are you mining it from? You're breaking the code. What codes? Who's making the code? Nobody knows.
Nobody
knows
I'm
anything. I'm out. Right? I was just like, if you don't...
Our Sethi has grown up. I mean, the amazing progress that this little boy has made.
So he was saying, it's mining. Of course. I'm just like, yeah, so what is that? I'm like... I was just walking him down the path of I'm trying to show you that you don't know what you're talking about, yet you think you know what you're talking about.
You can't know
because you've done your research.
Right. So I always tell people, whenever somebody pitches you an investment, the more questions you ask, if they're deflecting or change, they don't know what they're talking about. And this happens, and folks, I've had this happen with people raising 20, 30, 40, 50 million dollars. That's the thing. Like, people think it's just like these small. No, it's everybody. It's all across the gamut of people. I've literally had meetings with people trying to raise, one time was $24 million or something. And when I was asking the tough questions, he literally stopped me and goes, hey, can I eat my food real quick? Literally stopped me there. Another one was a friend of mine put me in touch with another real estate guy. He deflected and finally said, you know what? Let's talk about what your goals are. And I was just like, okay. And even my friend texted me, goes, that was bad. I'm like, yeah, it was bad. And this happens all the time. If I hear blockchain one more time, my comment back is, well, don't they all have, I don't know if they all have blockchain, but a vast majority, that's the whole point of crypto. It's blockchain. Well, then what makes one better than the other? You're still not telling me why one is better than the other.
Keep going.
Difference. And that's going to give you enough time to sift through all of the crap and give you something that's actually worth investing into. Not to mention, chances are, if you're worried about investing as fast as possible because in 5 days from now, it will have tripled in price and you'll have missed out on all the upside, then realistically, it's probably not something that you should be partaking in. Good
boy. Good boy, Graham Stephan. Good boy.
Companies and currencies don't just have a 5-day window of...
By the way, Paul calls everybody good boy,
And 3 people hate it. Well, 3 people tell me they hate it.
So he'll text
Tim loves
good
it.
boy said, yeah, that is funny.
And that's it. And when it comes to investing, patience is one of the best qualities to have. And finally, 5th, you should not invest in cryptocurrency if you find yourself getting too emotional.
Pause. To look at cryptocurrency, I think it requires the emotional aspect, unless you're trading it on a chart system like our Uncle Mo teaches, right? It's just because all you're doing is seeing hype, and that's exciting, and that's what you're doing.
Well, unless you're into IT, you're a computer guy. And
but even then, I argue back. Sense. Okay, fine. Then what makes one of the 4,500 better than the other 4,499?
And again, folks, what Paul is saying is if we don't, as a team, if we don't understand it, we're not into it. And so you can put in the comments all you want how we're wrong, but we're choosing our investments. I always say this too, Paul. There's money that can be made in buying and selling vintage 1950s Barbie dolls. We're not doing it because we just don't understand it.
Yeah.
And
well,
so,
Magic the Gathering, you called me the other night.
Oh boy!
By the way, can we tell that story?
Today. I got that meeting today.
This is the story. Ready? I'm laying on my couch watching TV. 10:20 at night. Phone call. Seth. Hey, Seth, what's up? Literally, that's what happened. Hey, Seth, what's up? Do you want to invest $50,000 in a Magic the Gathering? No.
Goodbye.
It was so funny.
I have a meeting today with a Magic guy, and he's asking $50,000 for this.
Oh, you're actually meeting with them?
I am meeting today to get
$50,000 for what?
a card, a big collection,
Okay.
Now, did you do more research on it, like I told you to?
I'm going to start with. I have, and I'm going to start with. This is good. Going back to what Graham is saying. Yeah, I'm actually patience. Research. I'm going to ask him the questions.
And by the way, there is research to be done there because you can go look at what those cards have sold for in certain conditions and all that stuff.
Sure. So that's what I'm assessing. So yes, I didn't pull any trigger. And so let's keep going. I love what he's saying here.
The price fluctuations. This, unfortunately, is one of the most difficult aspects of cryptocurrency right now. And when emotions are high, it makes it impossible to make a level-headed, logical decision. This is far too common in the cryptocurrency world, where if you say anything negative or critical about a project, you're downvoted into oblivion for spreading FUD. But if you're blindly
at this moment,
100% true.
At this moment.
Yep. Here we go.
At this moment.
Here we go, Paul.
optimistic for the purpose of being strong for the community, people love it and they passionately follow along because they believe that cryptocurrency is the golden parachute that's going to make them rich. But the problem is this creates an echo chamber effect of only hearing the information you want to hear without being able to hear other viewpoints, which would give you
I'll
a
tell
more
you what, he does his videos very well.
He does do them
They're cut up well. He plans it out. It's very well done.
Yeah, and so I mean, our show is
off the cuff.
It's just we don't ever plan damn near anything. So what you see is basically almost a live version, besides us cussing and then editing out those curse words because we screw up. But I mean, yeah, he's very like, let's get my sentences straight. It's very fast.
I walked in the studio today and I was about to walk to the board and I was like, oh, we're doing a reaction video. Okay.
So, yeah, Paul. Yeah, they heard about this about 10 minutes ago. Here's
perspective. For example, even though it's cool to say that you have diamond hands and will hold no matter what, the truth is there can
I love that term. It's such a good term.
Opportunities to sell, and there's nothing wrong with taking profits if you're sitting on
like Stock Mo, who would keep Workhorse no matter what, and then sold it right after the. Okay, got it.
Insurmountable amount of money. I really hate how it's become like this badge of honor to hold on as long as possible just because it's worked in the past.
The hodl nation. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
We really shouldn't look down on people who sell. There's no shame in having paper hands. And if you hit your target faster than expected, take profits, de-risk, and treat yourself because you've won the game. Now, that is not to say that you should panic and sell the moment something goes down or sell as soon as you make any amount of money. But if certain price points might not be warranted or it's held up by a lot
I think he needs to add, pick ahead of time what your goal is, and pick that number, and no matter what happppens, hit it. He kind of alluded to that at the beginning, I think, but I don't think he really pressed that point very much, which I wish he had.
He needs to say, if it hits 50,000, whatever
your number is. Like, I'm here to make 30%. If I make my 30%, I'm out.
Pick your number.
Yep.
Enthusiasm and big promises while you're sitting on a lot of money, especially
he has 3.2 million subscribers, by the way.
It's great. Does a great job.
We see why.
Yeah,
money can make a
very good.
difference in your life, then there's nothing wrong with selling, and I stand behind that. You should not let your pride get in the way of making sound investment decisions or hearing other perspectives, even if you disagree with them. And for some reason, this is especially common in cryptocurrency. So if you want to be a successful investor in
Tesla,
everything, not just cryptocurrency, you should absolutely listen to other perspectives. And if you find yourself getting too fixated on watching the price nonstop or getting too emotional if the price drops or goes up in value, that's probably a sign that you're too heavily invested. You should probably diversify your holdings, and you should always make sure you have enough cash on hand to hold you through any times where things go down in value and take a while to recover. If you could do that, I promise you're going to be a more well-rounded investor and more likely to make money long term. And listen, no one is perfect, and everything I mentioned is going to affect all of us to some degree. I've made similar mistakes in the past. I've been too stubborn to listen to other perspectives, and I've been so programmed to do everything my way that I missed out on other opportunities. But
right, Paul, you would say that's certainly that's happened to all of us.
Well, yeah, the difference is, like, somebody emailed me the other day and said, you and Mo are stubborn. I was like, okay, that's fine. I can understand how it appears that way. But I look at it saying, am I stubborn or am I
picky?
Well-read. You know what I mean? It's like, if you tell me 2 + 2 is 5 and I say it's 4 and you guys tell me you're stubborn, I'd be like, okay, well, I don't care if I'm insisting it's 4. the people who say you're stubborn, stubbornness is ignoring new information that's like, and also having a lack of information. You know what I mean? That's where I look at it. It's like, okay, well, you're right. I mean, look at my Amazon bet. I didn't sit there and say, no, I was wrong. I was right, but I was like, okay, well, it went above my value and I started shorting it. Now it's worth 800 to, there's some projections I have Amazon worth 2,000. Now, granted, those projections have to have the same growth they've had in the last 5 or 6 years going forward. So it's not very likely, but yeah, go ahead.
The more you immerse yourself in the world of investing, the more you begin to realize the similarities between everything from real estate to stocks to cryptocurrency. And that's why it's important to take these suggestions and apply them to your entire portfolio. And don't just listen to me either. There's so many other great resources on YouTube that you can learn from for totally free. You can also...
This is his new team.
I know, it's his team.
New team, so I'm sure he's got to kiss a little ass here.
You'll have just as much conviction for Dogecoin, Ethereum, and Bitcoin as long as you're prepared for the volatility. You don't invest too much, and you combine that with an already diverse portfolio. For me, that's allocating...
That's the thing. It's do as I say, not as I do, right? Look at what he says, not what he does. The thing is, he's saying all the right things, but then he goes and partners with a guy like Meet Kevin, and he probably has Tesla stock, and because he has a Tesla, so he's a Tesla fanboy, and all these things. I'm looking and going... I get it. This is good, but is he just saying this because, I mean, it is not very, the reason I like it is it's not the hype thing that people want to hear, right? And it actually is good sound advice. The question I'd ask is he actually doing it?
Yeah.
Small portion of my portfolio to cryptocurrency held on BlockFi because they pay you a higher interest rate than I get from a savings account, and you could earn up to $250.
Anyway, he goes on with some commercials and yada yada. So, I mean, what's your final take on our friend Graham?
I mean, everything he's saying makes sense to me. It says a lot of things. It's just, you know, I hope that we find out later that it's all very consistent with his actual actions, you know what I mean? And he doesn't, you know, I mean, as long as he does what he says he's doing, then I think it's awesome.
So I assume he's invested in, it seemed like he's invested in something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he showed that thing about accrued interest and all that stuff.
All right. Well, I mean, he seems like a smart guy. I mean, obviously there's a reason why he has that many followers.
Yeah.
Well, I hate the term smart, but what he's saying makes a lot of sense, and we like that. But at the end of the day, he also partners with people and does, you know, videos that we don't necessarily.
I'm sort of with you. I think if he has this mindset, even though that he's partnering with Meet Kevin probably to share the subs and all this, make more money, he's got to cringe inside when he sees some of these ridiculous claims by some of these folks. And so,
and you know, we're gonna talk to people who make ridiculous claims, and we're gonna partner with people that we regret partnering with. Well, I mean, I don't want to partner with anybody, but that. So I mean, I like what he said, and I hope people really heed that advice because you know how much I'm.
Yeah,
cringed by the crypto.
That video was very, very refreshing coming from somebody who I thought was a big hype guy.
Yeah.
In today's.
I mean, you've told me there are videos where he says like crash coming in 2021, and then there's nothing mentioning a crash.
Yeah, he does play the thumbnail sort of clickbaity type thing, but you know we too do to some extent as well. You know, someone will make fun of like every. I've told you this before. When you study like big channels and their thumbnails, it's everyone with their mouths wide open, dropped in like drama. So like the drama sort of. You know, is a thing. But yeah, I mean, one video is a crash. The next thing is everything's green. Yeah. Same with Kevin, same thing. So anyway, guys, that's our show. Let us know what you think about this. Again, there's not really much of an argument for you, Paul, because you're just not interested in this crypto. I don't think you're ever going to become interested in it because frankly.
No, that's not true.
Oh,
but ahead. It would have to take some fundamental reason why I think specific crypto is going to stick around. Fundamental reason. And to me,
I think it's going to be government.
Well, but even with government,
specific crypto that sticks around,
and then it'll be boring investments because people will be like, "Oh, it's not going to go up 20 or 30%." Exactly, fine by me.
Exactly.
All right, yeah, there you go. Take a little thumbs up on the way out. Check out the Patreon below. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Bye.